Alright guys, let's take a look at the patch notes. If all goes well, you'll be watching this on the HeroesHearth channel, as I'm uploading my HOTS content there, if they will have it. So, balance patch dropping in the week of the 20th of January. This came out on the 19th of January. And this will also be the patch, I think, that we're playing the grand finals of the HeroesCCL on. So that's interesting. We'll see if that shakes up the meta a little bit more than Wildheart even shakes up the meta. Let's jump right into it. Blaze. Endurance stim pack, which is something we don't see much. Usually it's the auto attack or it's the unstoppable. Shield amount increase. So they're trying to rebalance a lesser used talent a bit. And the same thing with the ability. Cooldown reduction. Also a shorter cooldown, therefore more often to be used. Grill and kill is where you get the quest. When you oil and fire people, that one is buffed a bit. Again, I think it's not the most popular one. And adhesive petroleum is, I think, where they're still slowed when you put the oil on fire. I think most popular, and I might be wrong, is the one where you don't set the oil on fire for the most amount of slow. But pretty cool, nice buffs on Blaze. There's a few talents that aren't picked much. And nano machine coating, I don't even know what that is actually. Duration increased. May, slow and blind duration increased from 1.5 to 1 3/4 seconds. Okay, so they're just kind of baseline buffing her Q, her snowblind. Might make her a little bit more competitive alongside Johanna as the tank that counters auto attackers. Heavy pack. Okay, so people don't go for the snowball talents a lot, although the talent win percentages on some third-party sites aren't too bad. We still don't really see that build a lot. It's pretty much locked in on using her trait, and some icing talents is what we see for the most part. But heavy pack, cooldown reduction increased, and each time Blizzard damages an enemy hero, gain 3 mana. Additional functionality. Okay. Ice Storm, bonus final stun damage increased. Yeah, it's tough to spec around this because you always wonder, are people going to stand in the final bit? But with good use of icing, I suppose, you can try to proc it, a little bit more damage. Cool, for the burst. Slush Ball, bonus damage for your snowball. Cold Front. Reduce the cooldown of icing by 4 seconds. If May enters her own blizzard while icing is active, the cooldown of icing is reduced by 5 seconds and she gains 80 mana. Wow. So all you gotta do is put a blizzard somewhere and then icing through it in order to try and proc that combo. And you get back all the mana. And a cooldown on icing so you can use it as an escape again. Seems pretty good. It does compete with the very powerful trait talent at level 4 that gives you, isn't it spell armor? Yeah.
Hey, I know you.
40 spell
How's
armor
it going?
during cryo freeze and for 1 second after. It's very, very good. But this is a nice talent. Ice Wall. We do see Ice Wall being used in the weekend of CCL of 18 January. Or 17 January. That was the ult that was picked by May. Avalanche more popular, of course, on ladder, but they're gonna buff it anyway. So I think this is gonna make May a very relevant pick the weekend of 23 January. Yeah. I mean, it's little buffs, but she was already used. A buff to something she always uses, buff to something she always uses. And this might be competitive. These may not matter. Flurry. Cooldown reduction. That's if you stand in Blizzard to get more Blizzards. Okay, cool. Buffs, I think it's deserved. Interesting. D.Va a little bit nerf. I think that makes sense. Wait, what? Way more damage on Bunny Hop? But just a little bit health across the board. I guess that makes sense. We only ever see the micro missiles because it offers so much utility and range to her. May be buffed. Oh, nice. Yeah. Gaslow. Damage reduction big time on the wait, nerfs? Gaslow doesn't see play anymore at pro play, but he seems quite good on ladder still, on Storm League. It's a big damage nerf, and range nerf on the towers. Yeah, that makes sense. That one is really good. But I didn't know he's still really an issue, but I guess he has a really high participation rate and a strength rate. They can see it in the stats. Hogger. Hogger should be nerfed, right? Even though I enjoy him a lot, they should still nerf him, even though I enjoy him a lot. It must have been a hard decision for them. I enjoy him, but that does mean I get to play him more because he kept getting banned recently. Meat duration reduced from 5 to 4 seconds on Loot Horde. Oh. Journeyman cooking now heals 8% when you hit your explosion, your dynamite. Easy throw dynamite. And this is also the quest that gives you bonus max health. We actually saw someone use this recently. Was it Litano? Forgot if he won with it. On the Prowl gives you healing per second, right? And you can proc it to get rage. You can now use it every 40 seconds. You get more healing per second. This might make it good. But probably still Loot Horde spam. The Loot Horde level 1 talent. But anyway, you can see they're buffing the 2 lesser used ones. Brute Force. That's the quest for your Q and D. You get way more quest stacks from hitting enemy heroes into terrain. And your max bonus auto attack damage can go up to 125. Yeah, that talent was pretty garbage. I still think Hogger is not really about auto attacks. It's nice to have it, it's utility, but in any given team fight, you'll be lucky if you get 5 auto attacks. So I don't see this as a really competitive talent for team fights and for competitive. Aggro range, which is the most used one. Bonus rage against non-heroic enemies reduced from 1 to a half. And bonus rage against enemy heroes reduced from 3 to 2. Okay. Yeah, everyone is using this. I've been playing with the rage talent at 4. The bonus healing and movement speed. I think it's pretty good too. But aggro range really helped your best teamfight talent and ability. Seeing red, also a pretty good talent. Bonus auto attack speed fairly often when you have high rage. I've been trying this as well. Attack speed, not super useful in teamfight, but it can be nice for bosses and objectives like PoE. So I think it's decent. Garbage Fire was the most popular and probably the best, though I think this was almost competitive, so maybe it can be useful now. Damage reduction on the Loot Horde, and it only reduces the cooldown by 2, not 4. Aww. So from 20 to 18 instead of from 20 to 16. Hordepod. Plus 10-second cooldown. I think that's fair. It was really short. Damage reduction from 140. Oh, I didn't change category yet? No, I did. Damage reduced from 140 to 100. Okay. Well, that only matters some of the time. So I think we can survive that. We, the Hogger mains. I think we can survive that. Pity, but acceptable. Shockwave. More stun on the primary. The ball shape, let's say, near your face. And then primary damage also increased. And the secondary damage also increased. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Dust Devil, which is the armor, was when below 50 rage reduced from 30 to 20. When above 50 rage from 40 to 50 to 40. Okay. This one is really popular on ladder, but Lutano, one of the best Hoggers we have seen in CCL, actually used Pummel. Slow duration increased from 1.5 to 2. So he's going to be happy with this. And me copying his build is going to be happy with that. So it's not just nerfs. Kablooey, which is so-so. It makes easy throw dynamite proc faster. And it does more damage. What does it compete with? Oh yeah, the percentage damage stun into the wall. Staggering blow. Yeah, I'm still gonna want the percentage damage most likely. Imperius. Damage bonus per Valeera's brand reduced by a lot. Wow. Sovereign armor, 5 armor less. So Imperius is still really popular on Storm League, but we didn't see him at all last weekend. Wait, overall he still seems good. He is just doing too much damage. Meteor, more damage. Alright, meatball build for Rag. Rag is still a pretty shoddy team fighter. Shifting meteor buff. Molten power. If living meteor hits enemy heroes at least 5 times, then reduce its cooldown by a lot. Oh. Interesting. 7 seconds. What is it normally at? The cooldown. 12. So you can do it every 5 seconds. Anduin. Light of Stormwind. When Holy Word Salvation lasts for its full duration, reduce its cooldown by 60 seconds? That's crazy. 60 seconds?
Greetings, friend.
The cooldown is 80, so you can do it every 20. Of course, it's rare for it to be uninterrupted, but that's interesting. Desperate Prayer, cooldown reduced from 40 to 30 seconds. Ah, that's the healing where you give a large heal while channeling for 2 seconds or what?
Greetings, friend.
Heal for like 1,000 plus kneel for 2 seconds, unable to act. Isn't that horrible? 1k heal every 30 seconds, not bad. I guess, but it's at level 20. Most people go for Glyph of Faith, the second leap charge.
Enjoying your stay?
That ult talent seems very win more. Yeah, how can the healer stand still for 2 seconds? It's almost only out of combat healing. I think they should have nerfed it to 1.5 seconds. I mean buffed it. The 2 second root is just crazy. Unable to act. It's even worse than a root. Next. Heavy Burden. Detainment Strike slows enemy heroes for 20% for 2.5 seconds. And the slow and duration are doubled when you stun. Ah. So now you slow them even if you don't wallbang them. Brightwing. Safety Dust. Increase Pixie Dust duration by 1 second. Soothing Mist and Blink Heal. Heals allies with an active Pixie Dust. Oh, so they're not allowing you to Z anymore. More nados. Adds another charge. Lucio. Shield from good vibrations increased. Is that where he gets a shield when he sound waves someone? Yeah.
Looking at you.
Boombox. No longer has a duration. So 0 seconds then? They mean it's infinite, right? High five. Cooldown increase from 15 to 20 seconds. Okay, so far this is horrible. This never to be used ult just got worse. Got better. But now it also heals Lucio and grants him. There we go. There we go. It was so bad because you gave some... But I think he still needs to skate quicker, no? Because it's really short distance and kind of slow. You give an ally unstoppable, but at least now you get it as well. Up to 11. No longer an activated ability. Increase duration of amp it up. Summer Anthem. Oh, that's where you make people unkillable for a bit. Now 1 minute cooldown instead of 75. And affects himself. Wow! Pros were already using this. Now it's even better. Really, Linux? High five is amazing. Then why do all the pros go sound barrier? They're buffing Lucio quite a bit. Even though he's really good. They say they're making him more interesting, but he's just getting buffed. He's not just more interesting. Buff, 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 buff. I mean, it's all the talents you don't pick get buffed. Yeah, that is the point. Reduce the cost and cooldown of high five. No longer increase the duration of... Okay, we'll see. Stukov. I hope they nerfed this. Okay, they did. It's still really good, but now it only procs every 25 seconds. That's a good change. Nerf. Low blow E will now deal more damage to targets below half-life instead of 30%. Fetid Touch. You need only 25 quest stacks instead of 30 to make it free. Biotic Armor gives only 10 armor until you turn on Bio Kill Switch, where it's 75 instead of 15. Little nerf on the best talent at 4. And It Hungers? I barely know what It Hungers is. It Hungers 13. Increase the range of Lurking Arm by 20%. If Lurking Arm damages heroes 8 times, its cooldown is reset. And its mana cost is refunded. Okay. That's still bad, isn't it? Compared to the root. But I guess it's not as hard to use as the root. Queen of Blades. Damage bonus increased. Ravage cooldown reduction increased. Queen of Blades? Is that the wave clear or the bunny hop? Oh, it's the wave clear.
Tell Doggo I said hello.
Hi. He's laying on my foot right now, which is such a blessing. Thanks, Nagari. Okay, double damage to PvE. Valeera buffs. Energy cost reduced. Baseline. Energy cost reduction from 15 to 10. Okay, so they took 5 out of this and gave it baseline. Thistletea, 20 seconds. That gives her energy on demand. Smoke bomb armor increased from 30 to 60. Wait. Feels too good to play with a low cost Sinister Strike. We're removing some of Relentless Strike's benefit baseline and helping out some weaker talents. Feels too good to play with a low cost Sinister Strike. And then they pushed it in that direction. Reduce the energy cost of Sinister Strike by 10.
Well met, my friend.
Too good? They mean just good enough, is it? 25 energy. Oh, the old Q was too much of a mistake. Ah, okay, I understand now. It was too important to take this. Now you can feel a little bit better if you don't take it. Okay, okay, got it. Lightning Fury damage reduced for Cassia. So I think Cassia and Tychus and Chromie are the 3 best ranged assassins right now. Tychus, Cassia, Chromie. They're, especially Cassia, Chromie actually, are allowed to be first picked. Basic attack damage reduction, lightning fury reduction, fen damage reduction. Good. Phoenix. No longer requires the primary target to be a hero to slow enemies in an area. Oh, good. Good. You can now slow people by hitting a minion and then use the splash. Horrify can no longer be interrupted and put on a 10-second cooldown if Gul'dan is stunned while it's being cast. I thought it wasn't being put on a cooldown. I've heard the sound interrupt. Anyway, they mean for it not to be put on a 10-second cooldown. Okay. Kael'thas. Twin spheres gain all level 7 talents. What? That's where he gets his second trait. All you give up is ignite or double flame strike. Verdant spheres gains a second charge. Kael'thas benefits from all level 7 talents, which means that every Verdant Sphere will cost double basic auto attacks to deal spell damage instead. And when both attacks hit a hero, he gets 15% spell power. So he gets 4 spell auto attacks that give spell power. He gets Sun King Fury that living bombs spread bonus damage. And he gets burned flesh. That's pretty interesting. But Ignite is still better, right? I don't know. It might be good. It's fun to say that Ignite is still better, but this might be good, actually. We should try it. Hitting enemy heroes with Plague Toads grants 30 armor for up to 1.45 seconds, stacking up to 4 seconds. How does it stack? If you hit multiples? It's not very well written. Quarterback. Less bonus damage. Okay, good. Yep, they overbuffed it. Okay, Zul'jin is trash. Except in some situations like where you have noob tanks and then he's OP. Let's see how they fix it. Basic attack damage from recklessness reduced from 20 to 15%. While you're below half life, basic attacks grant an additional stack of Yuan Axe. Wow. He's gonna be even more swingy. Vicious Assault. Oh, Q build is buffed and recklessness is buffed. That's a tough choice. Lacerate. More slow. Ensnare. Shorter cooldown. And if you miss, it's 10 seconds. Because he retrieves the net. That's so cool. If he misses, he goes to pick it up. It costs him only 10 seconds. No Mercy. Basic attacks against enemy heroes marked with Grievous Throw deal an additional 2% of their maximum health as damage. Wait, additional? What was it again? So you get 2% and ignore armor. Whoa, Zul'jin is back, boys. I'm a Zul'jin main. What can I say? That's it. And Melting Point no longer dismounts people with its damage over time. Nice bug fix. Alright, interesting. Very interesting.